Hey friends, welcome to the In Focus podcast, a show for photographers who are looking to grow and scale a photography business that feels good. I'm your host, Gina, a wedding and elopement photographer, industry educator, coach, and most importantly, your friend. On this show, we'll dive into actionable strategies, industry trends, and all things photography related so you can leave each episode feeling inspired and in focus. Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. This week, I have a special guest joining us for a really good conversation. But here's how I want to preface this chat. The world that we live in and operate a business in is always changing. The industry is constantly shifting, and if our businesses are not adjusting with it, that's when things can start to feel hard. This episode is all about adaptability and why it is the key to longevity in the creative industry. We're going to dive into how the wedding industry has changed, why so many photographers are struggling or burning out, and how adaptability, real, thoughtful, strategic adaptability, is the skill that will help you stay in the game and grow, even in a slow or even in uncertain seasons. I asked Jaimie Ridgewood to come on the podcast, and I knew that she would have a lot of different things that she could talk about. She is a super talented Pacific Northwest wedding videographer, just overall mega creative human being. But this is not one of the topics that I thought we would be diving into. She sent me like a 6-minute voice memo on the topic and her thoughts and why she thinks it's important. And I was literally so fired up and excited about it because it really landed for me. It was such a good reminder, even for me. I knew that it would be so good for some of you guys to hear too. So today we're going to break down what it actually looks like to be adaptable versus stagnant in your business, how to pivot when things aren't working, and how to build a financial safety net so you're not stuck in reacting in panic mode. This conversation is for the photographer who's feeling off, like what you used to do isn't working anymore, and wants to reignite momentum. If you're feeling like bookings are slower, your content is just not hitting right now, or you're straight up burnt out, this episode is going to be the shakeup that you need. Today, I have Jaimie Ridgewood with me. She is from Ridgewood Films. If you're not following her, just like pause the episode right now, go over to Instagram, follow her. Her work is amazing. She has this like beautiful way of blending. I like to, I don't know if she would describe it the same way, but it's very much just capturing moments as they're happening, but just in a very like cinematic way. I don't know how I'm gonna ask her to describe her work here in a second. But it is just so beautiful. And I love the way she like tells stories. She actually spoke at my workshop last year and came in, was just such a good energy and presence to have there. I was like so grateful to have her there. And then today I asked her to come on the podcast. And when I asked her shitty ideas, she kind of sent me this. It's not a pitch, but it's kind of like a pitch. It was like a 5-minute long voice memo about adaptability in our businesses. And like, I was listening to this voice memo, and I was like so fired up about everything you were saying because it struck a chord with me. And I know that it'll strike a chord with people listening with where we're at in business right now, especially this time of year, but also just the industry and the world in general. So without further ado, Jaimie Ridgewood, ladies and gentlemen. Jaimie, do you want maybe like a little background on who you are and then what you do, and just for people that literally are only now starting to follow you?
Yeah. Hi, everybody. I'm Jaimie. I have been doing weddings for a little over 10 years. Before that, I went to film school. I worked in Hollywood for a little bit. It was not the life for me. Uh, I grew up in Washington. I very much missed it, so I moved back here, had friends that were getting married and asked me to shoot their wedding because apparently I knew what I was doing. And, but I ended up falling in love with it, and I love to be my own boss. That is something I have discovered while I was doing weddings and also working full time. I was like, I just cannot stand that I think I'm right about things, and my bosses won't listen to me because they're the bosses. So maybe I just need to be my own boss. So yeah, I just continue to love shooting weddings. I love people. My work, I thank you for saying it's cinematic. That is something that I've really been working on in the last year. So it's nice that you noticed that. But yeah, I love taking a documentary approach with, of course, editorial moments thrown in. I don't want people to be left without those, moment poses and things like that. But yeah, bringing a cinematic eye to everything, hopefully.
Absolutely. And then, I mean, outside of wedding videos, you are a mom, a wife. What, anything else that we should know about you that's like you to your core?
I am a virtual assistant for 5 people right now. And then I'm also a lacrosse coach. So,
What? I didn't this is a fun fact, I did not know so much.
yeah. Yeah,
It's
I played
cool, what?
lacrosse. I played lacrosse all through high school and college, and then I went back and coached my high school team, for about 5 years.
So this is year 5.
No, this is, I took a break,
Yeah.
and now I'm actually gonna be coaching youth lacrosse, so trying
Oh,
something else out. Gonna go with the younger crazies.
yeah. Oh my god, that's so fun.
Yeah.
Oh, are you guys like, were you guys good? Are you like a mean coach or are you a nice coach?
I am a more serious coach, so it'll be interesting to coach youth because most of youth is just like, "Let's play games." And I'm like, "Okay, but are you going hard enough? Are you getting the fundamentals down?"
They're
But,
just going,
but yeah, I just love the sport, so I'm happy to be on the field doing whatever.
"Oh my god, I love that about you."
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, we're gonna talk about adaptability in businesses today.
Yes.
I mean, I already said this when you sent me that voice memo. I really didn't know what you meant on, like, the first text message about it, and then the way you, like, explained it, and then you had, like, a bunch of bullet points, like, on how it can be applied to our businesses, and
Mhm.
then, like, what happens when we're not adaptable, and I just felt like we could go so in depth, with that today, so maybe we'll start high level and kinda
Yeah.
just talk about what does that even look like in our businesses? Like,
Mhm.
what does that even mean as we're talking about that? And then we'll kind of maybe dive into more like specifically like what that looks like in examples. But
Yeah.
I guess, Jamie, if you had to kind of sum it up, like what does that mean or look like on a high level, adaptability in our businesses? Like if you had to define
Yeah.
it, I guess.
So, yeah, we'll say the word adaptable a lot today, so just to define it, it is the
Shot
ability.
every time
Yeah.
with the word adapt.
It means just, like, the ability to, like, shift or change due to your circumstances. So the differentiation I wanna make, especially for our small business people, entrepreneurs, creatives, is that it is not problem solving when things have already gone to shit. So can I swear?
Yeah, I think I
Okay,
just have
great.
a little button. Yeah.
Okay, great. So it is not that. It is not waiting for things to be so bad that you're forced to problem solve to survive. Like, that is not what adapting is. Adapting is having a plan so that you can shift and change when circumstances call for it. So that's important. Um, and for me, that means having a growth mindset over a fixed mindset. It means being willing to experiment, and we can, like, dig into any of
Yeah.
this however far you want.
Yeah.
Um, but, it's not something you're only doing when things go bad. It's something you're trying to practice basically all the time.
I love that. So you kind of said that to me on your voice memo.
Yeah.
And my first thought was like, oh, adaptability. Like, obviously, when you're not getting bookings, like, you have to adapt. But like, the way you're kind of approaching it is like, no, like, the reason you're not getting bookings is because you were not already adapting. Like, you need to, as business owners and as creatives, like, we're constantly striving to evolve and adapt and grow in our businesses. And like, that's how we continue to have like longevity within our businesses. So I just
Yes.
like that take that you took on it, it flipped my mind switch around it
Yeah,
a little.
good.
Yeah, it was good, and I think that a lot of people will, like, walk away, if anything, like, from this episode is, like, that right there, like, something we should be practicing nonstop in our business is, like, it's a skill almost.
Yes. Yeah, so I think we can think about it and this is how I'll give, like, a concrete way of thinking about it, because 'cause I'm sure, a lot of what we've said so far is a little bit, like, buzzwordy,
Yes.
you know?
Said
Um,
all over time.
yeah.
Adapt.
Yeah, adapt. Just do it. Just change. Um, so the way that I think about it is a lot from that, like, prep mindset. So when I'm prepping for a year, and I would love, like, I'll lay out what I do, and then I would love to hear what you do, because I'm sure a lot of us are doing certain adapting things naturally and the prep work, and then maybe people are not just they're not boiling down far enough. So I'll give you an example of me.
I'm excited.
So by the time I get to August, I want to have, just based on the income I want, for the next year. I want about 30 to 50,000 in accounts receivable for the following year. If I'm at 30, I know, okay, I may need to pick it up for the next from September through December of booking. I need to pick it up. I need to pick up my marketing stuff a bit. If I'm at 50, that means, okay, maybe I need to up my prices a little bit because I'm at the top. But those are things I've prepped in advance. It's not like I'm waking up one morning and being like, shit, I don't have any bookings,
Yeah. Yeah.
and like, what do I do? It's like, no, I know this is the number I need by this time of year for the following year to feel okay.
Yeah.
So if I have that, I make my I make my adjustments for the next few months, and then I do another check-in, and I want to be at like 60 to 80 accounts receivable by the end of December for that, the next year that's coming up. Knowing that there'll be other stuff coming in. At that point, let's say at December, I don't have what I need. Maybe I'm adding another mini session date to make up that income. Okay, well, what if I get to a point where I don't sell out the mini session? Okay, then I'm contacting all of my past clients and I'm saying like, hey, like maybe I'm trying to fill the mini sessions. Maybe I'm trying to get them to book like regular family sessions to fill in the income I need. But if I had not sat down and processed all of those things ahead of time, I couldn't set them into motion when I needed them. I couldn't adapt. I couldn't change. I couldn't do the things if I hadn't like done the prep work.
Yeah. That's so good. I don't do accounts receivable, but like I'm kind of inspired to maybe do that because it's way more concrete than what I do. And
Yeah, I
like
want to know what you do. Like, how, because I'm sure you're doing it almost naturally, like in your head. Most
um
people are.
yeah, I think I have it where like, okay, I know how many weddings I need to book for the next year.
Mm,
I know generally when I book like the most, like when booking windows are happening. So similar to you, like come the end of summer, I should have a couple at least on
mm-hmm.
my for the following summer. And then that winter, I should be adding another like 3 to 4 probably by January, maybe end of January.
Yeah.
And then so that's like I still have windows and it's more of number of weddings, knowing that my prices have set me up to I need to hit that many to like meet that. And then again, yeah, as we're going through that, if I'm like, oh, I don't have any weddings by the end of this year for next year, that's obviously like, I mean, I would consider that a little bit of a panic moment. It's never happened, but that's when I would be making some adjustments with my marketing or like checking in, like what's going wrong, like why do we have no bookings right now? But luckily that's never happened. But like,
Yeah.
yes, definitely not just waiting though to like January 1 and being like, wait, so what's going on this year? Like, where's the
Yeah.
so I don't,
But that's what's crazy is we've seen that in a lot of Facebook groups. I'm in like a club group that we have a conversation going. And there have been people since like all summer, all through the winter, and they're just be like, nobody's booking, nobody's booking. And I'm just like, change it up. What are you doing? You
yeah,
got to August and they didn't even have those couple. That's happened for a lot of people this year
yeah, yeah,
because weddings are down, because all the things in the world are happening, like bookings are just slower. And they just kept being like, nobody's booking, nobody's booking. I don't know what to do. And they just kept freaking out. And I was like, you've been looking at the stats for months because I see your name repeatedly in these groups.
yeah. So what have you done? So
Yeah.
yeah, what are
Yeah.
you
So
doing?
what are you doing?
So I guess my question then is like, what would you, if you actually could talk to those people, like it wasn't in a Facebook group or whatever,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
what would you say to them? Like how could they go back like 6 months ago and not be in the position that they're in now? Like how could they have
Yeah.
been adaptable
Yeah.
um in those 6 months so that setting themselves up for like a little bit more success?
Yeah. Well, I think part of it is that we kind of have to go back to how people start their businesses because people start them and get kind of in these ruts of like, this is how I market, this is how I shoot, this is how I do things. And then they don't ever really change it if it's working. But I think as a small business, you have to have this mindset that my business is created to evolve. It is meant to change and grow. I am meant to change and grow as a person, as a business owner. So it's good to start with that. If you don't have that, you can implement that mindset right now.
Yes.
like immediately. But the advice I would give to people way back, I mean, I do give advice to people, and especially in like some of the smaller groups where we're all just kind of chatting. Um, Switch up your marketing. So, what is what about your current marketing is not working? And sometimes it's literally just people are paralyzed. They're just like, I just don't know what to post. And it's like, literally, you can post anything.
Yeah.
Like, it is better than nothing. Just post something. Um, for immediate results, I myself have found a lot of success with um, getting venues, planners, and your couples to collaborate on your posts. Because a lot of times, if you're not getting bookings or you're not getting inquiries, it's literally your visibility. You just need to be seen by a larger amount of people. The way to do that is to get people to collaborate on your posts. I get 1 to 5 inquiries every single time I get an accepted collaboration from a venue specifically, typically. That
Yeah.
is not always the case with, like, couples or, other vendors, but if I get a collaboration with a venue on a post, 1 to 5 inquiries will come in. So that's a pretty immediate thing you can do.
And that's huge. Like
Yeah.
one to
Oh, I
it's
know.
like 5. Like that's if you were like a photographer who needed a booking, like right
Yeah.
there, post something and collaborate with a venue.
Yeah. And for some of my VA clients, we haven't had as much luck when it comes to the planning side. So if there's planners listening to this, other types of creatives, I I don't necessarily know that the scope is the same. Um, but for at least photographers or videographers, like it has been successful for me with that. Um, I think other immediate things I've recommended to people is like send gifts to your favorite planners. It doesn't have to be expensive. But that just gets, again, we're talking about like visibility when you're really trying to get the inquiries coming in. So you can also do other things in your marketing like blogging, but that's a longer game. So if you haven't prepped for this time of low bookings, that's something to consider implementing just for your future because we don't know what the future of weddings is going to look like. We don't know what types of marketing are going to work or not. So things that are um, minimal effort, but long game, there could be high reward. I think it's worth investing in those, like blogging and SEO. Um, and there's a couple things with SEO. I feel like I'm going way off
No,
topic,
you
but
you're good.
there's a couple things with SEO that are just like game changers. So I'll just say two right away is
Yeah.
make sure your site name has what you want to be targeted for. So mine is Seattle Wedding Videographer, and then it's Ridgewood Films. Um, Changing that and then changing on my homepage, choosing my H1, my heading 1 to be Seattle Wedding Videographer and making sure my site pointed to that as my H1. I was literally first page of Seattle Wedding Videographer within like 48 hours of changing those two things.
Wild. And that's like amazing. So for those who don't know, that's in the back side of your site. I use Squarespace. What do you use, Jamie?
Show it.
Show it. So on the backside where you do the design, you can set your heading 1. I feel like most people know this, but for those who don't, that's kind of what she's referring to. So making sure
Yeah.
that the heading 1 points to your site title and is a searchable term essentially that you
Yes.
want for.
Yeah.
No, that's so, so good. As you were talking, I was thinking about adaptability because what I've noticed so this is kind of the first year that this shift has happened in my business where my lead source for inquiries is from venues and not social,
Mm,
which is huge. It's a little scary for me at first. It's good because my venue, if you like look at stats in the past, the booking value
mm,
is lead. Like my venue inquiry bookings have the highest value attached to them, which is like a fun and good stat to know, I guess. And so if
yeah.
now they're my leading inquiry source, maybe that will be good. But at the same time, it's just kind of scared to have that it's not necessarily in my hands. Like they're finding me on the venue's websites or like a collaboration post or things like that. So while I'm like grateful to be reached out to from that, it's actually had me refocus back into social media to be like, wait, like why am I not getting as many inquiries directly through social media that I used to? So
Yeah.
adapting and just being aware of like statistics. But you said sending things out to planners, like little thank you gifts. I usually send them out to the venues that I'm on their list
Mm,
year just to say like, you guys, thank you so much for having me on your list. Like I loved all of the weddings that I shot at your venue this year. Like I've sent like 5x5 albums before. I've sent like box gifts.
cute.
before. So just like as a way to like they see so many like photographers, videographers, whatever throughout the year. I'm sure I'm
Mhm.
million. So it's just any way to like connect with them. And I do feel like it's kind of paid off in the end. Like they've kept me on their lists and
Yeah.
keep me always sharing the galleries, things like that. But you said that and like that kind of came to my mind. I was like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
like you know,
Yeah. Well, you said 2 things that I really liked, which one is the idea that you are conscious of what you have control over versus what you don't. Because I think that can paralyze a lot of people is this feeling like, I just need to get people to book. Well, you can't. You cannot control who reaches out to you, really, and you can't control if they decide to book or not. So, what can you control? And asking that question and then trying to figure out, like, okay, how can I experiment and how can I change within what I have control over? You have control over your marketing, you have control over how you present yourself, you can have control over your client experience. And those are the things that you can really work and change and grow with. So focusing on that. And then the other thing that I like that you said is you are looking at your metrics because I think that's a big part of being able to adapt is being willing to face your business and face yourself. I think a lot of people don't take the time to like sit down and actually just think about their business
yeah, yeah, yeah.
or they're just like worried about it all the time.
Yeah, they're a little scared to actually look at the numbers.
Yeah.
I mean, if you use a CRM, a lot of them give you that like end of the year recap. And so like that's my opportunity always. Like I only know that because I went in and looked from last year.
Yeah.
To see like, oh, like that's interesting. Like and just gave me this statistic. So
Yeah.
yeah, like utilizing that like free information that then you could take and apply to your business, whether that means running with that or changing it. And
Hmm.
so yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so this is actually fun because it pertains to one of your past episode maybe your last episode actually, but, um, I recently launched my new website, and when I did, I raised my prices. I'm basically fully booked for this year, so I felt comfortable, like, raising them quite a bit, and I got, like, 10 inquiries the first week, and not a single one booked a consult, which is very unusual for me. Like, I
Yeah,
would
no
get at least get a consult out of 10,
yeah,
Like, usually I'll get, like, 3 to 5 out of every 10 inquiries.
yeah.
And so I was like, "Oh my god, like, what did I do?" They're just, like, so freaked out by the pricing, but that you know anyway, but then I listened to your your episode about, your pricing page,
Oh, yeah.
and it was so interesting because when I launched my new site, I just went with their services page that they had, but
Mhm.
it was vertical,
Oh, int yeah,
and even though I remembered some of the money theories, like, you start with your highest and you go backwards so they see what
mhm,
they're missing, like, I just hadn't done that when I built it.
yeah,
And I just realized how unfunctional it was as a pricing page. So literally the next 2 inquiries I got, I scrapped the pricing page, I didn't send it to them. Instead, I just sent them, like, my usual email, and I put a range of
yeah.
what people would pay, and I said I'd build them a customer proposal after the consult.
Mhm.
Both of them booked consults, both of them booked.
Oh my god. Yeah.
So
Oh, amazing. Well, okay, so one, yeah, good job, like, revisiting that because a lot of
yeah.
people like, it's a window, like because I've actually done it before where I increase my prices and then it's, like, crickets, and I'm like, "Okay, I'm just in, like, a little lull, but it'll come."
Mhm.
Like, good on you for, like, taking action. That's
Thanks.
amazing, like yeah, like, turnaround there. I can't believe that. Well, and then my thought is you increased your prices, so I think custom proposals are probably what will work better for your level of client, if that you know what I'm saying?
I think so too, and also because some people are trying to book photo and video, it gets a little hairy when you just send them, like, these big packages,
Yeah.
like they get
Right.
kind of intimidated. But then usually I've started experimenting with really breaking stuff out when I send them a proposal. So they see like, this is what photo costs. This is what the extra shooter for photo costs. This is what an engagement shoot costs. Like, and I'm okay if they want to take something out or adjust it. Especially right now when I'm figuring out like what's comfortable.
Yeah.
And I think that is a part of adapting. I don't know if now's a good time to bring it up, but basically, I've heard a lot of people recently, a lot of people in the like quote unquote luxury market
Yeah.
talking about how they don't put pricing on their website because sometimes they'll shoot the 7K wedding and sometimes they're charging 50K.
Yeah.
But the thing is they're just looking at their numbers and seeing like, what do I need to charge?
Yeah.
But I feel like for some people that are in lower markets, we get in this like stuck mindset of like, I have to charge this much because this is how much I'm worth now. And it's like, you don't. You can charge literally whatever you want at any time in your business. If you need to make money, just charge what you need to charge to make money right now.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you can change and shift that all the time.
Yeah. And
That's
like
on you.
1000%, because like at the end of the day, do you want to charge a little bit cheaper and still be a business, or do you want to
Right.
that ego and go out of business? And the thing is, like, you can shoot whatever you want to shoot. You don't have to put that out there into the world. There are weddings that I shoot that I don't think people like my clients listen to my podcast. Maybe they do. But I don't think I've shared because it's just like
Yeah,
not my who I'm targeting or moving forward, who I want to be targeting. You know what I'm saying? So
exactly.
uh, but did those weddings contribute to my income and my business and like revenue? Like, yes. So obviously,
Yes.
I'm going to like, if I'm free, I'm going to take on literally any way that I can bring in money and
Yeah.
continue to business.
Yeah. Well, and something you said, that the ego. So it's really interesting. I was thinking about this and how I feel like people who they struggle to adapt, it's usually because of one of two things. It's either their ego or it's fear, sometimes simultaneously. But I think it's like the ego that says, this worked for me in the past, so obviously it's going to work for me in the future. Or it says, I'm talented enough that I don't need to work hard or give a good client experience. Like people should just book me because I'm brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then fear, on the other hand, says like, I can't get better than I already am, which is something I've struggled a lot with. Or it says like, you can't handle being successful. You can't handle being in a higher market. What if you fail? But I think it's those two things that really keep people rooted in not being able to adapt, like, and
Yeah.
not being able to change because it's those yeah, those two
I
sides of
love
them.
And it's like, again, forcing you to like really look at yourself and like say, like, are you one of like, is your ego getting in your way or is like some fear getting in your way?
Mhm.
I the ego and that I see that a lot as people grow because we start these businesses, we hustle so hard, we grow them to this, and we just like don't want to, we feel like we're stepping backwards.
Mhm.
Uh, but every single thing that we shoot and do is like an opportunity to like, especially on weddings or whatever it is, an engagement session that's like, maybe it's not the tier that you're trying to be a part of. Maybe it is a step down, but like, how can you bring who you are at this new level, even to a wedding or a shoot that's like not to that level? Like, how can you shoot it more like artistically or creatively and like really your creative eye is like elevating it. Um, but it's really easy to, like, not wanna feel like you're stepping backwards in business. So
Yeah.
such a good thing to just, like, keep in mind, as you're, like, trying to adapt and, like, look at your business, like, is something holding me back that's, like, that's within me? Like, it's on
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, and that's hard to face. I have witnessed a girl who was really struggling to book ask for advice about her website, its, accessibility, like, why is it turning clients away? And as people were kinda giving her feedback, she just kept saying, "Well, I'm glad that I'm right and, like, nothing's too wrong with this." Like, even if people would give her small things of advice, what she was really looking for was validation that she wasn't doing anything wrong. And I think multiple things can be true. You cannot be doing anything wrong, but you could be doing more
Yeah. Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah.
So I think being able to humble yourself and be like, okay, where could I be better and do better in my business? And where can I try a little bit harder? Um, but of course, like I think sometimes people get burned out and then they can't put in that effort into the next season.
Mhm. Which is so common.
Yeah. Yeah, and I do think that happens where people are just, like, so tired that they can't put the effort into marketing, they can't put the effort into these things, and I think in that case, then it's about adapting to figuring out how you can ask for help, how you can outsource, how you can get out of burnout and keep your business alive, um, while not having to expend the sort of efforts that's just gonna push you even deeper into burnout.
Yeah. I feel like what we've talked about, like, it almost happens in levels within a business. So
Mhm.
as somebody's starting to grow, then there goes their ego starts to build up. So then first adaptability moment is like, well, one is marketing if they're not getting inquiries as they're getting started. So just always adapting as you're growing to get more and more work, more and more like confidence in your business, more and more growth. But then
Mhm.
once they finally start to hit that, then there's like that ego check, like, okay, you need to keep putting in the effort and keep the marketing efforts going and just, keep growing.
Mhm.
Um, and so then the third kind of like after you're already up there on that high, then you like worked so hard to get there, you burn out. So then it's like this tier of now how do I adapt again so I can continue at this level and this like
Mhm.
level of effort and energy to keep pushing through. Like it happens almost in stages. I mean, it can all happen simultaneously as well and
Yeah.
forever. But I noticed if I'm like looking hindsight at my business, like uh, there's definitely different years where those happened for me. Like I
Mhm.
definitely like learn and grow from. And I think the burnout one is a huge one because you cannot have longevity in your business if you're ending every October, just like a dead French fry. You're just like
Yeah.
that's a huge one. Like to be able to stay in this industry so long, like you will not make it more than 5 years if you're burning out every year.
Yeah. Well, something that I've implemented recently to help with burnout is actually something I learned. Do you know Larkin Kendall?
Yeah.
Okay. She has like a set of workshops and things. And one of the things she talks about, which you can find out more either listening to her podcast or taking one of her workshops. But one of the things she talks about is having both or neutral time, passive time, and active time in each of your days, but also just like in your seasons. So, um, neutral time is what I've really tried to focus on adding, which is time where there is no new input coming into me. So maybe I'm driving, but I'm literally not listening to anything at all.
Yeah.
I'm showering and I have no music on, like I'm not listening to a podcast or whatever, or maybe I'm just meditating and having that time to let your brain literally relax and not have stimulus has been game changing in the last like 2 months. So, I recommend people add that time into their day. I try to do like 20 to 30 minutes a day
Yeah.
of like I'll pick a drive I'm doing and have no stimulus, which is really hard for me.
Just say like I don't know if I could do it. Like I'm so to do it. Like
You have to try because it is good.
this is my new goal. Like this is a new goal unlocked right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's neutral. What were the other two? Is
Yeah,
neutral?
passive and active. So passive is any time that you are scrolling, reading, watching TV. It's basically time where you are doing something, um, but it's not like you're active. It's not you working,
Okay.
essentially.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, and for passive, what we're all trying to do is just like scroll less,
Yeah.
which that
Yeah.
also helps. In January, I'm always a pretty ferocious reader, but in January, I am like always for some reason on it. So I have
So
like barely been scrolling this month, which is good because it's emotionally exhausting at the
I
moment.
It really is. It's funny because I'll catch myself in moods, and then I'm like, I've been on my phone too much in not a good way. Like, I've
Yeah.
been just taking in information that I don't need to.
Mhm.
And it literally does change you, like, once you, like, realize that and then, like, put your phone down or stop engaging
Yeah.
with any kind of content that's draining you. So,
Yeah.
um, I love that, though. I might need to, like, implement that into just, like, a daily practice with a new goal of, some neutral time because that's something that I've never really thought about. Like, we're
Mhm.
stimulated all the time.
All the time.
Like yeah, like, neutral, like, no stimulus coming in, like,
Mhm.
especially if, like, you're a mom with kids, like, this is getting hard.
Well, and it, like, it made sense to me when she was like, you know, when you're standing in the shower and, like, you have no music on and suddenly you get your bright idea, and it's like, oh, we've all had that moment, and it's really just that your brain literally had space to think through the things that
Yeah.
you've been processing constantly but not had the time to think about. Or like we all I'm sure a lot of us get it as we're trying to fall asleep and suddenly like idea, like they're coming at us. And it's like, yeah, because your brain finally has space. So give it space earlier in the day.
I hate this so much because right now I've been waking up at like 2 a.m. and can't fall asleep for like till 4 a.m.
Oh
And
my
I'm just laying,
gosh.
and I was kind of blaming pregnancy, like thinking
Uh-huh.
like they say like insomnia is kind of a part of that.
Yeah.
But me, I just need more neutral space during the day. You know what I'm saying? I risk my change
I think it's worth giving it a go.
to not be awake at 2 a.m. Please.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, that is gold. So that's
Yeah.
like a nugget that we didn't even plan on having
I
in the
know.
what is such a gold takeaway from today.
Good.
I was going to talk about so what happens when we don't adapt, we get into
Mhm.
that kind of desperate, like fight or flight mode in our business. We're not having bookings, we're not having inquiries. Actually, then there's no bookings, then there's no money coming in. We start to just get desperate. We start to panic. Do you want to talk about maybe like a little bit like what that actually looked like in the business? Because I'm sure that there are people right now sitting in that feeling, how like desperation shows up in our businesses, and I'm like, what do we do? Like, what do they
Yeah.
do? How do you turn it around?
Yeah. So a couple ways I have seen it go really poorly because some people are in that space and they just kind of stay steady and chug along and they make it enough to get by, right? That has happened. I've seen that happen. They're
Yeah,
not prospering, but they're surviving.
yeah,
Two ways it goes really bad is basically a burn down effect. One is you're like, okay, nothing is working, so I'm just gonna burn it all down, try something completely different. I'm gonna spend a bunch of money on a new website. I'm gonna spend a bunch of money on new branding. I'm gonna waste hours building a Pinterest board of a new brand because it's gonna remake me and and you're wasting time on something that it is not it's not moving the needle at all. So, I've seen that. I've seen people just basically, like, cover their eyes and like, "Ah, it's not happening," and then their business burns down and they're not doing anything even for their, like, future self, essentially. So, I basically think if you're in that point right now, your best thing to do is to do a check-in. What's going right? And there are things that are going right. What things are going wrong? What do I have control over? Get those things down, be willing to look at them, look at yourself, and then make a list of what could you do? It can be wild ideas. Create all the ideas for what the things that you have control over, what can you do to change the what's not going right? And I think you just start implementing them slowly and surely, and every day you just chug along. And maybe to give an example, Catalina Jean shared about this publicly. So she's a big SEO person and she loves experimenting, which I love about her. Like
are you in
I
her little Instagram group, like the DM?
I'm
It's
not. I should be though. I know,
so
cuz I
good.
love her.
It's like it blows like I'm in like it's like free. Like I think she has a
Oh
subscribe,
dang, I didn't even know that.
or I got in it early and now it's paid to get in, and somehow I snuck in. It is like I every day I'm like I can't believe like I'm not paying for this. It's so
Okay,
good.
I'll have to join. I'll have to join. But I I think a lot of people are afraid to experiment because they're afraid, well, like, what if I fail?
Yeah.
And I love that she's like, then you have more information. Like, perfect. More points on the graph for why that didn't work. And now you're going to try something else. Like, I love that mentality. It has taken me 33 years to get to a point where I can do that. So, like, seeing someone just so embodied in that is amazing. But anyway, she was very honest about how her bookings were down, and so she did a little poll to see, like, how other people were feeling, what was working for them, what wasn't. She gathered that data. She said, "Well, I'm just gonna try, and I'm gonna flood my Instagram." And she was just gonna keep doing that and putting more and more content out and just basically producing, I think she said, like, 3 or 4 times what she would normally do.
Yeah.
And it worked. Like, within a month or 2, she saw results. She started getting, back up to her, like, 300 inquiries or something crazy a month. Like, she gets it in crazy amount of
Yeah.
inquiries.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, what that showed me was just that she was willing to be like, "Okay, bookings are down a certain amount of percentage, so I need to put my output at 4 times what I would usually output." And then she just implemented that and changed that. And I loved that. And it was pretty quick.
Yeah.
So, like, if you're in it right now and you're thinking, like, I don't know, you're at, like, kind of your breaking point, like, just pick something that you could increase the output of 40% and do it for a month or 2 and see if that picks up your bookings.
I don't do trial reels, but I have since January 1. But I've been doing a trial reel every single day since January
Oh
1.
my
Um,
gosh.
well, I know, and here's the thing. I'm just giving myself permission to, like, just put something like, I'm not overthinking it, and I'm
Yeah.
just putting something out every day. It's a trial reel. Nobody's gonna see it. I mean,
Yeah.
but, like, my followers aren't gonna see it. So, like, it
Mhm.
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The only benefit that could happen from it is, like, I get a new follower, whatever. That might not even matter. Like, they might not even be my client. Who knows? So I've been trying to do that every single day. I'm not overthinking it. I'm literally posting it. I have not gone back and looked at them. I think if you have a trial reel that starts to take off, Instagram will say, like, this one's really taking off. You should make it public or whatever. I've
Mm,
done it twice and it didn't really they did okay, but
sure.
I've, like, read that that doesn't really matter if you make it public, but
Yeah.
anyway, so that's my current, like, experimentation, and it's been kind of fun.
I love
Um,
that.
taking the pressure off of it, like, I think when we gotta, like, show up on social media or post, like, there can be, like, a lot of pressure, like, who am I posting for and what am I saying and
Mhm.
who is but, like, I kind of found some freedom in the trial reels because, like, uh, nobody sees them
Nobody's
or
seeing them.
nobody that follows me sees them, so it
Yeah.
doesn't really matter. So that's been kind of fun. I
That's
think,
cool.
last year I tried to don't go to my TikTok because it's just personal stuff now, but I did try to, like, dabble in the TikTok world,
Yeah.
uh, because I would talk to a bride friend, and I was like, "Oh, like, so excited for you guys. How are you, like, planning your wedding? Like, are you on Instagram a lot or, like, where are you, like, looking for ideas?" And she's like, "Honestly, I'm just on TikTok. Like, I only am on TikTok." And at the time,
Dang.
not on TikTok. So I tried to post a few things. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't get, like, this happiness over in TikTok.
Yeah.
But if I was somebody who was feeling desperate and needing more inquiries and just, like, really scraping the bottom of the barrel for ideas, I'd
Mhm.
head over to TikTok right now,
Yeah.
and just see what I can do over there and have some fun with it, right? Like,
Yeah.
we have that kind of freedom and power in our businesses to I love that, like, try things out, experiment, adapt, grow however we want. There's no right,
Mhm.
there's no wrong. The only wrong is, like, giving up and not trying.
Yeah. Um, and I was just thinking, if you're also in that place and you're feeling like, well, I've done everything, like I've increased, basically, if you feel like you're at your max with all the marketing strategies, I think a couple things you could do even beyond that. Number one is ask somebody you know in the industry for really honest advice on your portfolio.
I would ask Jamie.
Sometimes I have a hard time being mean though. And
You're
sometimes people need that.
I think you would actually be so good at this because you are so real and I mean, you're not you don't come across mean, even though I know what you're saying.
Yeah,
You just
yeah.
and it's what people need to hear, and you always
Okay.
come in perspective. Yes. Okay, go on, sorry.
No, that's okay. Um, because I think sometimes there is a disconnect between people's work and what they're charging, or you can look at somebody's work and say, "You have beautiful work, but it's dated." And that's another part of adapting we can talk about if you want, but there is a level of adapting our work has to do to stay relevant. I don't think it's necessary to chase trends, but giving in to some trends in some ways
Yeah.
is going to help you, just honestly.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's the reality. Like, we are in an industry that is built around trends, so you have to at
Yeah.
least know them,
Yeah.
um, know which ones you need to mess around with a little bit, which ones you need to dabble in a little bit.
Mhm.
I like that you said not all of them, but
Yeah.
it's so true.
Or not going, like, full throttle. You don't need to, like, "Oh my god, film is big again, so I need to buy the most expensive film camera, and I need to get 100% buy a point and shoot and do maybe 60 images per wedding." Like, you can
Yeah,
add it in without having to go so black and white with it.
yeah.
Um, yeah, or I think, like, uh, my husband and I are doing a vow renewal this year.
We love that. Yes.
But I've been looking at photographers on the East Coast, so nobody that I think
Okay.
will hear me say this, but, I loved a girl's work. It was mostly film. I went to her, like, look at full galleries, and every single image was a Dutch angle,
Yeah,
and I was like,
yeah,
"This is not for me."
yeah,
And it felt very much like, "This is a trend." Like, you're a full film photographer, and you do it all Dutch angles, and, like, okay. That felt
mhm,
like too much. That felt like you've gone a little bit too far in this. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
So I think you can find ways to implement trends or to post a trend on your feed and that be the only image you have of like but just to say like I can do this. I
yeah,
I know how to do this. I am aware and experienced in our industry enough to realize this is what people want
yeah,
and I'll put it somewhere that people will see it. Um and I don't think that you are sacrificing your identity by doing that. I think that's what sometimes people feel.
yeah. Yeah, like, they're like, "I don't wanna change who I am by introducing film," or I'm trying to think of, like or, like, changing your editing style would be, like, another
Mhm. Yeah.
example, which that's a huge shift and change for a business if you're gonna
Mhm.
change style, and it's possible, people do it all the time, but are you doing it to chase a trend, or are you doing it because that's true to who, like, you are and what you wanna produce for your clients, kind of?
Mhm.
That's the question, right?
Yeah. And I think there's ways like, we saw a move from more, maybe warmer tones to more like natural or real to life tones in the last 5 years, I'd say. And there are ways to keep your warmth, but make skin tones look more real to life, or make your greens more green, but everything else is still like there are ways to like adapt to how the industry is changing without completely overhauling everything and being like, I have an entirely new editing style.
Yeah, yeah. I've shifted like, I go back to galleries from, like, 5 years ago, and they're so, so warm, and, like,
Mm,
am I don't remember them being, like, overly warm, but, like, I could not post them now,
yeah.
and it actually kinda killed me because I love some of those weddings so much, and I'd, like, love to reshare some of the work, but I'm like,
Mhm.
"I don't edit these." Uh,
Yeah.
I'm like, was this were we all just" I don't remember, I was but, like, I've definitely toned it down a little bit, and I think that just goes to show, like, with the industry, because it's not like if you go to my page, I don't think you could scroll way back and be like, "Warm, shifted there." Like, I think it's been a
Mhm.
really gradual shift, like, with what's happening in the industry and, like, the trends, but
Which
yeah,
I
I
would say is one of the reasons, like, you are consistently successful. You're
mm,
doing, like, natural adapting, which I
mhm,
think is what we'll see with people. that are able to maintain businesses for a long, like you're saying, longevity, is people that are just kind of like, they're naturally adapting to things. And part of that is just practice, I think. For people that doesn't come naturally to, because it doesn't, and that's fine. Like, then you're just gonna have to practice it in your business, but also in your daily life. Like,
Yeah. 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 It's so true.
yeah.
Oh, so good.
Um, One of the things I was gonna ask you, because I think this is interesting, um, how do you see the relationship between like, I don't know if that's the right question. So our industry is so unique because our creatives are 100% the business owners. There's not many industries in which we are 100% creative and 100% business.
Right.
And I think that makes a really unique like not a problem, a unique opportunity for us when we're trying to adapt, when we're trying to grow. And I don't know, how do you think about that? Or maybe you don't.
I don't know if I have better. It is really interesting. Yeah.
When maybe we kind of already covered it with the idea that business adaptation is a little bit easier to quantify. Like we can be like, okay, we need to up our marketing, or we can look at, conversion rate. We can look at those things and make changes. But the creative side is sometimes the one that, oh my God, I just thought of something. I bet our creative side is our ego and our business side is our fear side,
When
or opposite,
I could see it,
but they
I could,
both exist within us.
yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I couldn't, when you brought that up, I was like, I'm definitely like both of those exist within
Yeah.
me at different times. For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's really this like weird, like balance and like fight within our system
Mm-hmm.
because we
Well,
do have to run both sides, like have some both sides of that brain, right? Like,
yeah.
um,
Well,
interesting.
yeah, one of the things from my own life, there was a long time where I thought I don't have the capability of understanding complex film technology. Like not film, but video technology. Like I just thought I'm never going to be good at tech. Like that's what I would tell myself. Um I refused to get a drone for years because I was like I won't be able to figure it out. I won't have the time to do. I had a lot of like negative self-talk around it. And it was finally when I started to shift that mindset that I finally was like, everyone is using drone, Jaimie. You need to be able to fucking use drone. So just go get one and do it. Like,
Yeah.
it's not that hard.
Yeah.
And it was finally that, like, oh, okay, yeah, I need to change and I need to be willing to, like, assume, yes, you're going to figure it out and it's fine. You just need to go do it.
I love that. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. That's so funny. And like knowing you now, it's actually funny. Like it's like comedy. Cause like I feel
Yeah.
I think you like have all that dialed in so well. So at least it seems like it from the outside.
Yeah. I
But it's
mean, it's once you get past the barrier of just being like, I just need to go do that, then it's easy. Like, it's very easy to learn drone. Friends, it's very easy to learn film. If you've been like, I don't know, I'm afraid, just pick up a film camera. Like it's so
the worst
easy.
that's gonna happen. What is the worst that's gonna happen? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I literally ordered a camera because of the industry. I think it was 2
Yeah.
summers. And I didn't like share. I mean, I posted it a couple of times that I like, these are film photos or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'd share like, oh, adding film to my packages, everything. Because I'm like learning. Like I don't know.
Right.
You might not see these film photos just so,
Exactly.
but it's been so fun to just like have and learn and just like what's the worst that's gonna happen if I like take some film photos at a wedding and then like see what happens and learn and grow from that.
Exactly.
Really good.
Exactly. Only good. Um and I was thinking about adapting like even in terms of a wedding day. This is something that has been a harder thing for me to learn. Um, I do love an event. Like I love the fast pace. I love the liveness of it that like you're constantly having to adapt. And for this, like there's no really amount of pre-planning. We've kind of talked about like pre-planning in our business and stuff to be able to adapt. But on a wedding day, you kind of have to prep just for the idea that you're going to have to adapt at some point.
Yeah, yeah, like, there a million times, like,
Yes, a
the
million
next
times. all of
Yes.
like people's emotions are going to be all over the place, and you'll have to adjust yours to match whatever you need to balance in the room. There
Wow.
was a wedding where I overheard the groom and groomsmen talking about doing cigars in the morning, and then we got to reception, no one was doing anything. And I think it would have been really easy to just like, okay, the day is just going to go on as it is. But I was like, I really want those shots. So I like went up to the groom and I said, "Hey, let's go get your cigars out and let's take the boys and do that." And like ended up being some of the best photos from the day. So it's just being able to like prep yourself to know that you're going to be like the leader in some ways, that you're going to have to shift and adjust to like who is taking control, who is making decisions, who's not, what's not, like what gaps do you need to fill?
Mhm. That is our job. Like, if I had to like put a bullet point under a job, like that is literally part of our job. Like, we don't tell our,
Yes.
but like to be successful again long term and like live in this industry as long as we have, like that's a huge skill that you have to be able to have. Okay, Jamie, you mentioned in your audio message to me something about how as you get into business, we start to get a little bit lazy, a little bit complacent with just what we're doing in our businesses, both in marketing efforts, but also even I think this carries over to like day of, like what you're doing day of and things like that. So let's talk a little bit about like what that actually looks like to be like complacent in your business and then what needs to change because that's again that's not going to set anybody up for like longevity in a business. You're not going to continue to thrive and survive and grow in that space of being lazy, being complacent.
It's nice because almost everything we talked about kind of can be summed up in this. Complacency, I do think, is a symptom of ego and fear. Um, but on the surface, it comes out as like complacency or laziness.
Yeah.
So as a virtual assistant, I do see the back end of a lot of people's businesses. I'm not talking about any of my current clients, but I've been a VA for several years now. I've seen people in a lot of different walks of their business. And not to offend anybody, but photographers are lazy people.
My entire listener base is offended.
Um, I mean, I have suffered from this. Being your own boss, getting yourself to motivate, trying to motivate yourself to do things and to get things done is not easy. If it doesn't come naturally to you, if you're a procrastinator, if you're neurodivergent, like there are things that just will really get in the way of you actually doing the thing. So you could have all the good intentions, but maybe you take forever to edit because you're just constantly like, I don't want to go back to that shoot. I don't want to go back to that wedding. So you just keep putting it off and off and off. And then you're not doing it. You're filling your time with scrolling. You're filling your time with reading. Oh, I should go clean my house. Oh, I should take care of my kid. Oh, I should. And you make all of these excuses. Some of them are laziness, but most of them are, I think, like ego or fear based.
No.
And you get into this mode of inaction. So a couple things. I mean, unfortunately slash fortunately, I have never struggled with getting myself to do things.
Love that for you.
I love that for me. I've never been a procrastinator. Um, but I do think there are a couple tools that those people can use. So number one is a Mel Robbins thing. I don't think it's worth reading the book personally, but because it can be summed up in what I'm about to tell you, which is the 5-second rule. Have you heard of this?
Yeah, I love
Okay.
the
Yeah. Um, so the 5-second rule is you have a task you need to do, but you can feel yourself resisting, procrastinating, whatever. You say, okay, in 5 seconds, I'm getting the fuck up to do this. So I need to go edit. I don't want to edit. I'm sitting on the couch. I'm scrolling on my phone. You put your phone down. You say, in 5 seconds, I'm getting up and I'm going to go edit. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you're up. You're going. So that is a tactic you can use.
Okay.
Another tactic I use is I will always link something I don't want to do to a pleasurable experience. So what I mean by that is I will withhold a show that I really want to watch until I am at my desk editing or doing a task I don't want to do. So linking that will help. And then if you work well with accountability partners, you can get an accountability partner. I personally don't respond to accountability partners very well.
You're
I'm just
terrible.
like, fuck off, I can do this myself.
You're distracting me.
Yeah. But sometimes it does help me to be like, hey, I really need to work today, but I'm having trouble focusing. And I'll say, can we get on FaceTime? And we'll just be on FaceTime and both be working for the entire time that we're on FaceTime. And that just helps to have someone like there next to you. You can, if you have any sort of an ADHD brain, you can be like talking at the same time as working, which can help your brain kind of focus in on the task. And then I felt like I had one other one that I was going to suggest for procrastination. I mean, anything that you really don't want to do, figure out a way to outsource it. That is going to be like the best thing. If you're like, I can never get myself to edit because I hate the culling process, then outsource culling.
Yeah.
You can't get yourself to do Instagram because you feel so frozen by the prospect of what to choose, then outsource it.
There's
Like,
something there
yeah.
that all of these things.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that will help like get you out of your complacency because often it's that one task we really don't want to do
Mhm.
that is barring us from literally making any move at all.
Yeah. Yeah. I was, as you were talking, I was like thinking about times in my business when maybe I have not done something or felt stuck, maybe is the word. And this might be a little bit different than like complacency in my business. It's almost like the opposite, but like you like want to do something different.
Mhm.
And haven't, you're not making the needle move. You're not taking the steps towards it. And for whatever reason, whether it's fear or just like lack of knowledge or just not sure where to start. In all of those big instances where I've like made big shifts in my business, like I've hired a business coach. So that, and like, that's like an accountability partner,
Yeah.
just super expensive. But whenever I put money, skin in the game, I always see a return. So if you are somebody, I would say, sitting on that fence of like a bigger shift in your business or just, I don't know, it doesn't have to be a big shift either.
Yeah.
Um, I think investing in coaching or somebody that can push you to whatever that next level looks like for you is always, I mean, I've had really good experiences and I've done like different coaches every time for different things. So
Mhm.
even in like, I do even know like nutrition, like think about like nutrition coaching, like that's a whole, not even part of the business, but like
Yeah.
there's coach for everything in life. So if
Yeah.
there's that you're like wanting to achieve and you want to get there faster, um, there's a coach probably that can help you.
Yeah. Yeah, and I just I'm reading a book right now called The Willpower Instinct, and it talks a lot about um our ability to like have the willpower to get ourselves to do something or not do something. Um and it is really affected just by honestly like our sleep, like our activity levels, our a lot of things. So if you're struggling just with willpower to be like, well, I know I can get myself to do something, but I'm struggling a lot with it right now, check in on just like the basics of your body. Are you moving? Are you eating well or fueling yourself in any way? Are you sleeping?
Yeah.
And I remembered the other thing I was going to say is something that does help me if I'm ever feeling like procrastinating is a reward system. It's really simple, but it's like if I get this task done, I will let myself do blank.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Love
not
that.
all of these are going to work for everyone. Everyone has kind of like a different mind, and so, like the accountability doesn't work for me, might work, for somebody else. But like, yeah. So try them out. Experiment. You don't know. Something might work for you.
Yeah. And all of this is just stemmed around that idea of like not getting lazy in our businesses, not getting complacent, like continuing to grow, evolve, adapt as we grow and evolve in our businesses. And then as like the industry changes and trends change, just like being able to be on the move constantly because that's how you survive. That's how you like stay in this business, stay in this industry so long.
Yeah,
I
I was
think,
going to say people with longevity in their business are not the most talented. They are the most tenacious. They are the people that are constantly putting in the work. They're constantly fighting to grow and evolve. And it almost never has to do with being the best at whatever you are.
It's so true. It is I couldn't, that's the end right there. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna anything that's more true and
Okay,
more real
great.
than that right there. So keep showing up, be tenacious. The goal is not perfection, it's evolution. So, and that's all we can do in our businesses. If you are not following Jaimie, make sure you follow her at Ridgewood Films on Instagram. Beautiful work. And then if
Thank
I'm
you.
like literally pushing her to like any of my couples who need videography, even though it doesn't happen as often as I think I'm just like not in your market. Like I think you're just above me, but it's
That's
fine.
just not true.
Happened one of these. I just a dream come true. I'll retire after that one. But she's a great person to follow. And then like I
Thank
mean,
you.
I don't know. You probably are not taking VA people because you're literally so
I
busy.
am not
But
right now, but
Jaimie, I really do think you should like offer some sort of like one-off realness, like
okay.
coaching. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm throwing this into your
Yeah.
mind background in there as
Okay.
a weird offer because you're really good at it. So
Thank you.
Jaimie's somebody that I always feel comfortable going to get advice on my business, marketing, whatever. And she's just gonna give it to me real and then also very like actionable. So I love that about you.
Thank you.
We always end with like 3 questions. If
Ooh.
you listened to the
Yeah.
guest interviews. So, and I switched one of them up for 2026. So the first one's going to be if you could only eat one thing for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Oh God.
I love that like these questions are the hardest, even though like everything else was way harder.
I know. Okay, so I'm gonna say salad, not to be boring,
So
but
boring.
you can put so much in it. You can put all different types of things, and then I'm still getting all the nutrients I need.
Oh, okay. Wait, what if I took nutrition out of it? Would it
Oh,
change?
okay. Yes, absolutely, it would change it.
Yeah.
It would be just
There you go.
pasta.
Oh, pasta. Yeah. I was going to say, like, you can literally do that with like pasta or burrito, Jaimie. Like, come on. Or pizza. Like,
I know
I
zero would be tacos.
really want to give. Okay. If you could only have one superpower, what would it be?
Teleportation.
Ooh, is there like a specific reason or just like it'd
Yeah,
be
I
bad?
just hate the process of getting from A to B, but I like being at B.
This is very telling of you as a so productive, just like we don't need like let's just get it done. Okay.
Yes, 100%.
And then what is one word that you're living by right now?
I'm still living by audacity. That's was my word last year and it's my word this year. I let go of limiting beliefs as a word because it felt too negative and it's more about audacity. It's asking for the things I want, doing the things I want to do, being bold, just doing the thing. So,
Oh yes, that is such a good one. Oh my God. I
thanks.
feel like there's a lot of things people are gonna walk away from from this episode. So
Good.
so good. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for
And
having me.
that's it, guys. I hope this episode brought a new perspective into your business today. If you aren't already adapting in your business, you are setting yourself up for failure down the road. We discussed adaptability today in the light of making adjustments and changes in your business in response to new conditions, whether that's industry changes, client behavior shifts, economic changes, marketing strategies, etc. I want to emphasize, though, that adaptability is not constantly pivoting or chasing every single trend that pops up. It just means being self-aware, client-aware, and responsive to what's actually happening right now. I loved the point of the adopt, almost like a scientist mindset, where in your business, we should constantly be experimenting and evaluating and evolving. The businesses that last the longest are not always the most talented or perfect. They are the ones that never stop growing. They're persistent in their pursuit to continue to grow, adapt, and evolve. I hope this relit that fire under your butt today to see where you can change things up in your business, where you've slowed down, maybe where you've gone soft, and what changes you want to make to adapt and evolve as this year moves forward. Until next time, stay focused and keep smiling.